What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're doing the fuel filters on a 2018 Dodge Ram turbo diesel Cummins 6.7. Right now we're going to work on the top. The tools you're going to need for this job is an oddball socket, size 28, with a long half-inch extension. It's better to have a half-inch so you can get more leverage on those filters, because sometimes some people put them in too tight and it's hard to get out. So go ahead and get yourself a wobble adapter here, half-inch and 28mm socket. You're gonna get up top here. First filter we're gonna do is the cartridge style filter with the spin-off canister. We're gonna get the filter right into here, this guy down in here. That's what you're gonna use your 28 for. So it's in a pretty tight spot. So what I do is put this socket in first, right on top of that there. Then I get my long 28 and I come in through the top right here, and I stick the extension with the wobble down in here, just like this. And then if this doesn't do it, sometimes what you need to do is get yourself another half-inch extension about this long. So you have two extensions and give yourself plenty of room. So again, go ahead and get in through the top, slide it down into your 28 size socket. You're gonna go ahead and get your ratchet. And just so you guys can see that, I'll zoom it in a little bit. So you get that 28 on the cartridge with your adapter and 28. You're gonna come up through the top here. And then you're gonna get your 28, your half-inch ratchet. And you're just gonna loosen it. And this one, whoever did it last was a good tech. They didn't over torque or over tighten it, so it's pretty easy to get off. Most people sometimes don't have the best luck, and you really have to crank it. So once you loosen it enough with your socket, you can go ahead and get it off by hand. Give me 1 second. All right, so once you loosen it with your hand or your socket, you can get the rest of it with your hand. And keep in mind that sometimes you'll see and you'll hear fuel start to drip once you loosen this yellow port there. It's gonna happen. It's just part of the job. So loosen that literally a quarter of a turn, this yellow tab there. And then you can hear the fuel dripping right through there. So what you can do to kind of reduce that is get yourself a piece of cardboard, so the cardboard will absorb it. And then once you finish with the service, you can always wash it off with soap and water, and that'll clean it up. All right, so once you guys get it absorbed on the cardboard and you guys get the fluid to trickle out from that yellow knob, just go ahead and quarter turn it, tighten it up, and the fluid will stop. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this canister. Just like that. This is the cover here. Go ahead and put that off to the side. I'm gonna reach in here. And go ahead and pull your filter out. So then, always a good rule of thumb is to match your parts, your old parts with your new parts, and it looks like a pretty good match. So let's go ahead and put this aside, and just how we took out the old filter, you're gonna put the new filter in the same exact way. And it comes with the new filter, so don't forget to take off your old filter that's in here. You usually can't do it with your hands, so what I recommend is getting some kind of small flathead screwdriver or a little pick like this, Doesn't have to be Snap-on, it could be whatever brand you guys choose. But go ahead and just stick your little pick in there. And just pull it out. Just like that. So that filter literally just sits right into there. So we'll get the new filter and the new O-ring, and we'll go ahead and I'm lacking lube, silicone paste, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it on there. And it'll seat into the channel of the canister where it needs to sit. And once you verify that it's on there correct, you're gonna get your filter, and you have to line up this oval with the shaft that's inside this canister, and it's a certain orientation. So it's a certain oval shape. You wanna make sure that this goes in and matches that oval, otherwise you can't put it in. So there's really only one way to get it in. So just go ahead, slide it from the top the same way you pulled it out, and just push it down. Make sure it's seated properly. That's it. Get your canister lid, slide that in from the top, and twist it on. All right, now when you guys do this and you guys want to torque it, it lets you know the torque specs here. It says 305 Newton meters right on top. I'm not going to torque it. It's just really a light snug with your ratchet, especially if you're using a bigger ratchet like I am. It doesn't take much. As you can see, I got a lot more leverage on this ratchet, so it really only takes me a quarter of a turn, and it's at its proper torque specs. So again, how we did to loosen it, you're gonna get your 28, you're gonna throw it right on top of that canister right there. Then you're gonna come in through the top with your extension here and your wobble, drop it into the socket right into there. Make sure it seats like that. And then you're gonna, I don't really need the other extension for this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put my ratchet on here, put on the on position, and I'm just gonna give it a couple turns till it's nice and snug. That's good right there. And that's how you do the top one. So I'll go ahead and take you guys to the bottom, and we'll start on the bottom fuel filter. So we're going to do the bottom fuel filter, this one. You're gonna get on the driver's side floor here. You're gonna get to this gas tank. As you can see, I've kind of already started setting it up before I started recording this video. But first things first, and bear with me, angle's not the best here, or the camera position isn't the best. But what you want to do is get this sensor here off, and you literally get this sensor off by pressing this button, just like any other normal connector. Just push it down, and that sits, let's see if I can get my camera in there, up there where that connector is loose or has nothing in there. That's where that goes in. So I'm gonna follow that filter all the way to that top connector up there. So you want to disconnect that before service, and then you want to loosen this filter here with a oil filter pliers. So let me go ahead and get under here. And as you can see, I'm using newspaper for this, just to try to absorb as much fuel as I can so it's not dribbling. And what you can do is also get a piece of tubing like this and connect it to the drain right there, and have it dribble onto the actual newspaper. So again, this could be tight based on who worked on it last. So hopefully when you guys are doing this, it isn't too tight. So I might not be able to get in there one-handed, but you're gonna get this plier on and just loosen it up. So I'll get back to you guys when I have it loosened up. So once you guys get this filter off from the bottom, this is your sensor here, this guy right here. So you're gonna wanna transfer this to your new filter. Best way to do that is to hold this with some oil filters. Just the same tool you use to remove it, same tool you use to hold it. Get yourself a big pair of channel locks and just get a good grip on it, because you don't want to round this out, just like that. And one swift motion, loosen it with the channel locks, and with your hand, just loosen it. You'll have a little more fuel spill out. Also, you have your newspaper down. That's your sensor. So you get your new one and right back in. I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. These also come with a gasket. So you want to go ahead and pull that off. You can just go ahead and roll this out with your hands and your fingers. Just like that, throw that out, get your new one, roll your new one in, just like that. Now you can get your new filter and put it on. Once you get your new gasket in, just spin that on. Make sure your valve here is closed too when you put it back in. This is what you loosen, but just go ahead and tighten that. Honestly, for me, I think hand tight or finger tight is good enough, honestly. If you aren't really working with your hands much and you don't have the tighter, stronger grip, you can get your channel locks and just give it a little turn. You know, that's about it. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be super tight, because again, this is very, very, very light torque specs. You don't need to overdo it. So the new one also comes with the new O-ring up here, so you don't need to transfer any O-rings. You just use the new one and your new O-ring down here, and you go and put it back up. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so getting back underneath the vehicle here, again, I access from the driver's side, and that's your filter, or where your filter is going to go. So again, please bear with me. It is a tight space here, and my I guess camera positions aren't the best. I'm doing this one-handed. So what you're going to do is, I usually go in through this gap here on the fuel tank and drive shaft, come up through here and just stick it up. So I'll go ahead and grip my filter, come in through here. Always double check, make sure your O-ring's there. And again, it'll tell you quarter turn, half a turn, and that's all you need. This one's not going to be any super tight torques as well. So go ahead and stick it up right into the location this filter needs to sit in. And again, bear with me, I'm doing this one-handed. So I'm just going to go ahead and spin this on like that, and you'll feel it grab. So I'll go ahead and swap hands, turn this with my right hand like that. Just like that. Once you get that on, then you're just gonna go ahead and put your harness or your connector right on top there. So bear with me here while I try to get this on while recording. It's not the easiest, but I'm trying to get this on for you guys so you guys can see it. Right in there. Just like that. And you'll hear it click. You know you're good to go. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.